If you made a list of the most stressful things to ever happen in your lifetime, you probably wouldn't get very far until you ran into house renovations. So hopefully to help you guys out, I've made a list of the 10 things I wish I knew prior to starting my home renovations. When I first started this journey, I didn't really consult with anybody. I maybe looked up a couple things online, but I wasn't like asking for advice or anything. I didn't watch this YouTube video that I'm about to make or anything like that. So I really just did it all on my own. So hopefully these 10 things will help you guys avoid some of the mistakes that I made. But shameless plug, if you guys are wanting to buy or sell real estate in Wisconsin or want advice, tips, anything real estate related, you want to learn more about the wonderful state of Wisconsin, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Check out all the other videos I have on my channel. But here are 10 things that you should know before you start that home renovation. So when I came up with this list, I did it off the top of my head. And the first thing that came down, pen to paper, right away, was research your contractors. Now, I'm not here to badmouth anybody. I'm not here to put someone's business under, so I'm not gonna mention any names. However, when I did get a contractor recommendation, it was from a realtor in a different office. So I figured, okay, it's gonna be fine if she's used them or if that agent has had a client that used them, I can trust them, right? Well, just because you get a recommendation for a contractor, for a plumber, for an electrician, anything like that, no matter how much you trust the person that recommended the person to you, make sure you do your own independent research to make sure that this person really will fit your needs. And don't be afraid to ask around. I did the mistake of just going with the first guy that picked up the phone. Probably not the best thing, hindsight, but I really wanted to start the renovation process and I was super excited to start. So I figured with that recommendation, I was in the clear. But to be honest, I did not have a good experience with the contractor that I chose, and they've done numerous things with my house. You know, they communicate pretty well, but a lot of the work that was done kind of quick. It wasn't done to the quality I wanted. So there were times, actually almost every single time that they would do the work, I had to have them redo the work, which would cost me time, cost me money in material, cost me money in labor. So it may be cheaper up front to go with one of these different contractors, but in the long run, you may end up paying more. So make sure you ask around, get multiple contractors to come out there and do the work for you, at least see if they would give you a bid for the work. Another thing I ran into with these contractors is that they promised they could do everything under the sun. Not every contractor is going to be like that, but if I ask the contractor, oh, could you do this? Oh yeah, sure, I can do that, no problem. But come to find out it wasn't done correctly or it wasn't done to the quality that I was hoping for. So really just make sure they know what they're doing. Ask to see some of the prior work they've done. So if you're doing flooring, make sure you ask and see if they've done flooring, the evidence of that. Yeah, just ask around, get some multiple bids. It was stressful, man. Number 2 is when it comes to paying for the work to be done, if you aren't doing the work yourself, use your credit cards, leverage those financing options. When I got my 3 windows replaced in my kitchen, they have a 0% financing option. So I pay 0% interest for the life of the loan. It's a 36-month loan, and they just divide, basically, if it costs $5,000, they divide the payments by 36, and that's what you pay per month, but you don't pay any interest. Not only does it build credit, but it's a good way to pay off the work without giving a large sum of money up front. If the supplier doesn't have an in-house financing option, you could always get a loan from somewhere, or you can use your credit card. Just don't be late on your credit card payments. Make those timely so that you're improving your credit score. So if you're gonna make a big purchase, use the credit card so you can improve that credit score. The third thing I wish I knew was how consuming this process can be. I have had no kitchen since October. It is almost February. We'll get to that in a later part of the video, but it's really like, if you're having projects going on, it's all you think about throughout the day. It's what you want to spend time doing, because once it's all complete, you can finally feel relaxed in your house. You know, I've constantly been thinking, okay, what am I gonna spend money on next? Every check that I do get, a large portion of it goes towards fixing the house, which is nice because I'm able to build equity that way, but at the same time, when I'm driving and I'm just driving for an hour or two, it's all I think about. What's the house gonna look like once the kitchen's in? What's the next project after the kitchen's done? Where are my finances coming from? How much do I have to budget here? How much do I have to budget there? So just know that it can be a stressful process, and set up systems in place to make sure it's not as stressful. Number 4 is kind of relating back to point number 1 with the contractors, is making sure people are licensed and insured. I had the contractor do some pretty basic things like switching out the outlets and switches to a different color, installing ceiling fans and light fixtures, putting in GFCI outlets. So it wasn't terrible that he wasn't licensed, but the one thing that kind of irked me was before he did the work, I kind of asked him, hey, are you licensed to do electrical? He's like, yeah, no problem. I'm underneath my dad's license. And it came from another client of mine who was actually doing work with him as well. And he's like, yeah, did you know so-and-so isn't licensed? He didn't renew his license for 2022. So it kind of wasn't a good feeling knowing that he told me he was licensed and then come to find out after the work's been done, he didn't renew his license. So even when they say they're licensed, make sure they truly are licensed and insured. If something goes wrong with the property, if there's an electrical fire and you had someone uninsured and unlicensed to do the work, you're gonna be stuck paying that. Like I said, my electrical stuff was pretty minor, but if you have someone that's uninsured doing major stuff that could cause damage, just be cautious. This list is gonna be so against contractors. I'm not trying to say that because each one is gonna be different, and mine truly wasn't the worst possible scenario. It just wasn't the right fit for me. But number 5 is to not be afraid to move on from other contractors. If you've had work done with a certain contractor and you have that work contracted out, obviously finish the work with them to be fair. But if you have other proposed plans for work in the future, you don't have to use them if you're not contracted with them. So if the work that they just did for you wasn't that good, just move on. Try to find another contractor who has availability, who knows what they're doing, who knows that they can do the work, because you're just gonna get yourself in so many headaches of constant rescheduling, not quality work that you want. So just don't be afraid to cut the ties. Number 6 is the only business contractor that I'm going to name here, and it's because they're a large corporation and I feel like I can do that. Don't get a kitchen remodel project through Home Depot. I'm serious, like it's been awful. That's why I have no kitchen and it's almost February. Like if I had kids or something, I don't know how someone would be able to survive. Yes, my kitchen is a little different because I had to demo it because it smelled up the entire house. So that's why it was demoed already. Hopefully if you're doing a kitchen remodel, you can get by with the prior kitchen. But yeah, just really poor communication. You know, they are really nice over there, but that doesn't get you where you want to be. So I'm not trying to badmouth anyone at Home Depot specifically, but I think their process is just a little rough around the edges, to say the least. Like there were times where I'm emailing them like, hey, what are the next steps? What are the next steps? I'm ready to order these cabinets, ready to order these appliances. And their excuse was there's a glitch in our system that we can't have you order the cabinets yet. And then I'm like, okay, well, when can I expect these cabinets to be ordered? Oh, it's by the middle of this month. And then it comes middle of the month and nothing, silence, radio silence. I tried to reach out to them again, and by this time it's the end of the month, beginning of the next month, and then it's a month or two later and we're finally getting to that step that I thought was going to be done way earlier. Like, I like the products at Home Depot. That's really why I wanted to just use them and have it all in the same house. But there are so many other quality spots that you can get a remodel done, have someone design it for you. Maybe you'll pay a little bit more, but honestly, it wasn't cheap at Home Depot either. So again, just like contractors, vet the places you're going with, read reviews, don't be afraid to get multiple bids on things. So don't do what I did and just go with Home Depot because it's right there, quick and easy and convenient. Number 7 kind of relates to number 6, and that is how long these things really can take. It's a process. So when you're ordering things for, let's say, a kitchen, the cabinets have to be made, they have to be delivered, they have to be installed. Now, in theory, it shouldn't take desperately long, but like I said, mine has been quite long. So just be prepared that you may have a time frame in your mind of when things will be done, but things always come up, whether it's the designer's on vacation or the contractors are a month or two out because they're so busy. So really just don't try to put a hard deadline on all these things, because it always never ceases to amaze me that they always get pushed back, whether it's for a reason you can control or a reason you can't control. Like for instance, I'm doing a insurance claim on my roof because of hail damage. As soon as I put the claim in, we got hit with a ton of snow. They aren't able to go up on the roof obviously because of the snow, so it may not be till March, April, May until they're actually able to go assess the damage from that hail, and then I can start the long process of filing a claim with my insurance. Number 8 is case-by-case type of thing. Obviously, if you have a small yard, it may not matter, but number 8 would be invest in a riding lawnmower. I bought a push lawnmower, probably the smallest size push lawnmower you could honestly buy. It was like 190 bucks, so not too bad. But my yard is 1/3 of an acre, and I'm like, that's not terribly big, but it's not terribly small. When I would mow the grass, it took me 2.5 hours my first time. I was sore. Maybe I'm just out of shape, but I was hurting from head to toe. If you want to bite the bullet and purchase a riding lawnmower, it's going to cut the time tremendously for you. You get to sit down, you get to listen to music. It seems pretty sweet, but don't underestimate mowing the grass because it can take quite a while. Number 9 relates to budgeting. Unexpected things in a home renovation always come up. And I have an example for this. When I'm doing my kitchen renovation and they had someone come out just to verify measurements, I had mentioned that I'm going to be putting a mounted microwave over my stove, and per code, at least in Wisconsin, is that that microwave has to be ran on a separate circuit. So because my electrical panel was so old, that forced me to upgrade that electrical panel. Now, I was going to upgrade that electrical panel at some point, but because I was going to do it after the kitchen originally, but it needed to be done before, it pushed me to needing to replace that sooner rather than later. So the biggest thing is don't exhaust all your savings. Make sure you have the savings you need for the projects, and then also budget above that in case something like this comes up. The last tip I can leave you guys with is the more hands the better. And what I mean is when you're doing painting or just pretty basic home renovations, or you're moving in, the more people you can get to help you, the better. Hopefully it's people that you don't have to pay an arm and a leg for. You can pay them in pizza and beer or something like that. We painted this whole house in 2 to 3 days. If it was just me painting the house, I would have gotten halfway through. I would have hired it out because it is quite a lot of work. You do one whole coat throughout the whole house, and then you're like, oh, I'm finally done. But no, it needs about 2 or 3 coats often. So that's just one thing I can suggest is if you have friends or family, make sure you get them to help you out, and pay them however you want to pay them. But it's very, very fortunate for me that I was able to have people help me. So those are the 10 things that I wish I knew before I started this long home renovation journey. We still have a lot of projects to go. Can't wait for the kitchen to come in, but I just wanted to give you guys this list of 10 if you guys plan on renovating a house in 2024. If you guys do want any other questions answered relating to home renovations or just home buying in general, feel free to comment. I always respond. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later.